Hey there, it's Vicki Marie. I am out and about. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. I ran over here to King Soopers, our Kroger store, to pick up some applesauce. I like to make my Jell-O salad with applesauce. It's just really quick, like just a small package, the small package of Jell-O. You just boil 1 cup of water, mix it with your small package of Jell-O, and dissolve that, and then add 1 cup of applesauce. Stir that up, stick it in the fridge, and that's how we love our applesauce, our Jell-O salad. That's how I do it. And I usually use cherry, but you can use any flavor of Jell-O, and you can double it, or you can use the bigger pack, and you just have to do some math. But it's 1 cup of water, 1 cup of applesauce, and the small pack of Jell-O. That's the combo. So, and I'm out of applesauce. I used the last of it the other day when I made our Italian meal, and I made some Jell-O salad. So tomorrow we're doing prime rib and ham, and I wanted some Jell-O salad for that. So I've been baking more cookies this morning. My son's been at the house for a couple days, which is wonderful. And he and John are playing a game. And I think we're all going to sit down and play a board game when I get home. So I don't want to be too long out and about. You know, for being Christmas Eve, it doesn't look as crowded as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it is pretty crowded, but it's not, doesn't feel too crazy. I know a lot of people feel isolated, just isolated, lonely this time of year. And then the seasonal depression, which is a real thing, where people aren't getting as much sunlight. They're indoors, the days are shorter, and it's colder, and we just feel a little more isolated right now. And I know it's a difficult time. And I think as we get older, I watched an older gal. She wasn't on YouTube. She was actually on a documentary that I was watching, talking about, and I think she was probably a little older than I am, and I'm in my late 50s. And she was saying that, as we're like some of us older gals, sometimes it's harder for our generation to share. And, I worked in the personal transformation and development arena for over 30 years, and that was one of my specialties. We talked a lot about that, and I worked on it myself. And I still struggle. I still struggle with not feeling good enough, not feeling like I have anything important to say, and not valuing my own contribution. And, it can be brutal when you're trying to put yourself out there, like for Vlogmas every day, and just keep it real and raw. I think that's even when I feel more vulnerable. I've always been here for the community aspect and the engagement. That's more important to me than anything else. I really want to have this feel like a culture of a community of like-minded people like me. Maybe, I guess who that would be is somebody who's looking at simplifying their life, getting their life in, kind of fit. I mean, that's a big part of my life, is just staying fit. My home being fit, me being fit, like just staying fit in my life, doing the things to give myself a strong foundation in my life. Like I want to focus on those things. Function over beauty at this point is really where it's at for me. Function over beauty. Simplifying my home life, downsizing, not having as much stuff. I'm not a minimalist, but I don't want to buy stuff just for the sake of buying stuff. I want to, I want to have the capacity to have things in my life. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm going without because I don't deserve it, or I don't value myself enough to allow myself to have fun and have some special things in my life. Because that's a thing too. Like, we can really limit what we allow ourselves to have if we want to. We could really limit that if we don't feel really good about ourselves. And I go through periods of times like that. Like, okay, now if it comes down to giving something to my kids or me getting something, I will probably do without in certain ways so I can give things to my kids. But then if I want to feel like pampering myself, and we want to take a little vacation, and I want to go get my nails done and pamper myself, I want to feel like I can do those things too when it's in the budget. So, the havingness, the capacity to have things is that's something I want to keep in mind as I go through this new year. And I also want to keep in mind that I want to just have stuff for the sake of having it. Like, I don't need stuff just to have it. Like, that kind of conversation is like, that's just it's a big turn off for me. Like, people who just need stuff, they need the latest stuff just to have it. I have never been like that, and I hope I never get like that. This guy turned and looked at me like, what is she doing? I'm talking, yes, hello. I'm talking to myself. I don't know. Maybe people, oh, there's a cutest dog. Oh my gosh. There's the cutest dog in the car in front of me. His mommy's with him too. All right, guys. Well, I'm just rambling, but those are some of the things on my mind. If you are new to my channel and you are taking the time to watch the videos and you've subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And please comment on my videos and just let me know how you're doing and give me your thoughts on any of the topics I cover, because I am not here as an expert. I am not an expert on living life. This is Vicki Marie living life. I'm just living my life, and I just share the best I can. From my 58 years on the planet, which, I don't know, ladies, when we're over 50, and gentlemen, I think we have some wisdom to share, and we ought to be out there proudly talking about what we've learned in our life, and not shrinking and feeling like I mean, I know people who get over 50, and I know this because I'm friends with a few, and we've talked about it, how they just feel smaller when they get older, like they're insignificant, and maybe they're estranged from some of their family. Well, find a way to do something, make a contribution. Don't give up. You've got to be out there making a contribution, and because you are important. Even Jesus could not. He could not. What was that word? Jesus could not preach in his own hometown. Like, I like to use that one because everybody gets that. Like, your family won't see you sometimes the way you want to be seen. It just won't happen. So don't be afraid to step out and do the things that you want to do, that you value. And even if your family might not quite understand it, believe me, my family does not quite understand the vlogging thing. Like, really? Like, what is that all about? I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. I just enjoy it, so I do it, and that's why I do it. And yeah. Okay, guys, I better go get my Jell-O, my applesauce for my Jell-O, and get back and play one of these board games. And I hope it's not one of those 9-hour board games. My son loves those, but I can barely play a game for an hour, and I'm ready to move on. So, fingers crossed. But let me know if you have any comments for me, and I hope that you are having a very Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for being here and supporting. Take good care.